guys.
So welcome back to How to Feed a Loon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My very deep loon.
Deep.
So philosophical. You're very deep, that loon. He's got deep thoughts, I tell you.
Sometimes I am.
Sometimes
I think about the world around me and how.
Sometimes you just wonder what we're going to have for lunch.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are going to make something so delicious today. You know, we love to do that around here.
It's one of my favorite things.
And we're doing, I'm just going to say this, we're going to make a pizza, but it's so easy. This is fun for the kids.
So
it's fun for
good.
everybody. Let's tell them.
Yes.
We're doing our
Sausage and spinach deep dish pizza.
A lot of words for something that is so scrumptious and so
And
delicious.
it's simple. It really is.
And
even the dough is simple. I can't even get over it.
It's easy dough.
Yeah.
And so oh my gosh. So there's so many things about this I love. First of all, we're doing it in our cast iron skillet.
Love it.
Have you ever made a pizza in a cast iron skillet?
Makes it super easy.
It makes it super easy. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, no big deal. You can do this. You can do this in any kind of a pan. You could do it in you could even do it in a cake pan.
Love it.
You could do it in just a pizza pan.
Just make it nice and deep.
It's got to be deep because we're going to load it up with tons of flavor. So, all right, before
let's talk about the star.
I know. Before we get to this filling that we've already gotten started, let's talk
about this dough. Easy peasy is what it is.
I just want to say a couple things about the dough. Is that of course a lot of times when we're in the mood for pizza, which is practically constantly, you should seek out your local pizza factory, your favorite pizza joint, your favorite Italian restaurant.
Pizza factory.
Your pizza factory. A lot of times they will sell you their dough, and that's the great thing about that. It's homemade, it's made from scratch, and that's always best.
Yeah. You're thinking of the spaghetti factory.
The spaghetti. There used to be a spaghetti factory when I was a little kid, and it was literally a factory. They pumped out spaghetti. It was so good. Anyway, actually it wasn't, but I thought it was. Right. But anyway, so
let's talk about the dough.
But if you don't do don't do store-bought unless you get really good quality. Don't do the canned kind. Right. But this is so easy. I'm going to tell you to do. So here's what we did to make this. We started off. You got to get your yeast yeast going. So get a bowl, and you're going to want to get 3/4 a cup of warm water. And I literally, if you got nice hot tap water, that should do the trick.
105 degrees.
105 to 110. You can do it in the microwave. You don't want it boiling because then you're going to kill the yeast. But you also don't want it super cold because then it's going to take longer for the yeast to do its work. So we add that to the warm water to the bowl. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of yeast. It can either be just active dry yeast or it can be rapid yeast. Either way, it's going to work the same, okay?
Yeah.
And then you just put that in there, and then you're going to do a teaspoon of sugar.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, it's a half a teaspoon of sugar. And then you just let that all start to do its thing together, and that yeast starts to
foam a little bit.
It gets foamy, and it's
kind of
beautiful.
creepy.
It's actually beautiful. I love it. It's nature at its best, and you can smell that yeast smell. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let that go for just 5 minutes. Okay, and now we're going to start to make the dough. So you're going to add to that a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and then you've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cornmeal. Don't do too coarse of a cornmeal because you don't want it crunchy in your dough.
Right.
And then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and then just get a nice little wooden spoon and just start to incorporate it together. Yeah, just kind of mix it up, and it's going to start to form kind of like a dough. Yeah, and then you can eventually use your hand. It's maybe a little flaky. We're all a little flaky. And then you can just start to form it with your hands until it's like a little ball. Yeah. Okay? So now what we're going to do is it's time to get really kneady.
Once all the dough has come together, right? That's when you start to knead it.
We're going to get super kneady. Yeah. And I mean, we are so kneady.
Yeah, I
in case you haven't
needy.
noticed. I know. Well, you are. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a little flour on our surface and then just put that dough on there and get ready. It's a nice little workout. It's fun, and you can get your wife, your husband, and whatever, grandma to help out. And you just start kneading it. Just use it with the palm of your hands, and you're going to need to do this for about 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
And you're going
It's a workout.
Not that bad. It's good. It's good for you. And
you feel like you're doing something.
You are doing something. You're creating something.
You're changing the world.
You are, one dough at a time. And then you're going to add, if it's feeling a little tacky, sticky, then you're going to want to probably add another teaspoon or two, maybe 3 teaspoons of flour as you go during that time. And you just keep kneading. If you don't want to do that, you can do this in your stand mixer with the dough mixer. I've done that before. I've done this before. Do you still have a bread machine?
Yes.
Well, you can do this in your bread machine. Just there's a dough cycle, and you just let it do that.
But this is so easy. Do this.
It's so fun. It's the old school way to do it, and it's so easy. Okay, so now once you've kneaded it for 6 minutes, kind of form it into a nice little ball with your hands, and then you're going to get a bowl, and you want to just oil that. So I just get some cooking spray, and I just spray that nice, get it nice and oily, and then put the dough in there, kind of roll it around a little bit so it gets well coated.
And then you wrestle with your cellophane.
Wrestle with your cellophane, always. It's like, can they not make cellophane?
At least it's not the Christmas cellophane anymore.
I finally had to throw that out. Yeah, that was like this wide. It was so like, I'm never going to get rid of my Christmas cellophane.
I love it.
Anyway, then you're going to cover that, and you're going to put it into a non-drafty, slightly warm, not hot place.
And if your oven has a proofer, even better.
Yes, that's the best.
Setting,
A proof setting. I love that. But anyway, and then it's just going to let it proof for 60 minutes, and then you're going to take it out of that warm kind of non-drafty area, and you're going to see it. It's beautiful. And
can you freeze it if you don't want to use it right now?
Absolutely. I freeze my dough all the time.
Okay.
I love doing that. So do a double batch and freeze it.
Right.
Okay. So now we've talked so much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this. All you do is
we're going to use it now. You dump it out of that bowl.
You just dump it out. You put a little flour down, and then you dump it out, and then you just kind of use your hands to start to form a circle.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want it to go, depending on the size of this. So this cast iron skillet is a 10-inch skillet.
You did like 1.5 inches past the skillet.
Anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So that's probably about 12 inches, 12 to 13 inches in diameter. Okay.
It is ready.
It is ready. So this is a nice kind of thick crust. When it bakes, it's going to be. So let me tell you some of our.
I'm going to fold this right now, real quick.
Well, what he does? Okay, he's going to jump ahead and do that. So,
no, I just want to do it.
Well, so
I'm bored.
to make it easier to transfer it into your pan, you can quarter it. So like what he's doing is you fold it over half, and then you do another quarter.
That's
ready
for that pan.
I'm going to talk about some of our other pizzas in just a moment. But anyway, let me talk about the filling. I'm getting hoarse. I'm talking so much. Okay.
I'm trying to help you out.
I appreciate it. Okay. So now what we've got is we've got a skillet over here that we've heated over medium heat, and I've added 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Okay. Once that's nice and hot, we're going to add a cup of chopped onion, and then you'll let that cook till it gets kind of nice and cooked down and wilty, starting to brown just a little bit. That's going to be about 4 to 5 minutes. Then we're going to add 2 or 3 cloves that we've finely minced. Throw that into the party.
Of garlic.
Sorry. I always just say cloves, and people are like, cloves? That's a weird ingredient. Garlic cloves that have been minced, and you add that into the party. Let it just get aromatic.
Oh, it smells so good right now. It
I know.
So good.
And then this is the sausage part of the pizza. We got Italian sausage. We've been doing Italian sausage a lot lately. I know. I love it. And you can't.
That's what they got at the store.
That's so good. So we're going with sweet Italian sausage. You could do hot, would be really good with this. Any kind of sausage you want, any kind of Italian sausage. If you just did regular pork, you could add a little fennel and some Italian seasonings, and you'll be golden. Okay. So now we've brought that. We've just add that, and again, this is a little over a pound. It's about 5 links that I just took a knife and I crumbled that meat into here.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can get Italian sausage that's already bulked. That's not in the.
Crumbled, if you will.
Crumbled. He calls it crumbled. Okay, so then we're just going to cook this until it cooks down.
Yeah.
Now it's going to render some grease. Also, sometimes those onions have a water content. You don't want this to be too overly juicy, because then when it bakes, it's too liquidy, and then it makes the dough liquidy, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So what I do...
Soggy dough.
We don't want soggy dough. No soggy dough, please. So then what I do is I just get once it's off the heat, get a spoon and a little bowl, and then just drain off, just scoop up the grease. A little bit is okay. It actually adds a little flavor.
Right.
Okay.
All right, come on.
Have I talked enough? Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to add some flavor.
Yes.
So it's so easy. This is just frozen chopped spinach.
Love it.
How easy is that?
You can use other greens as well, right?
You can.
Use like broccoli rabe if you want to.
You could use anything. You could use
some collard greens,
kale, collard greens, anything you want. This, I just think.
I like spinach.
I think the spinach is
and
so
it's more
easy.
accessible.
It's very accessible. Yeah. And especially when you just pull it out of your freezer. Let it thaw, and then now again, you don't want excess liquid, and frozen spinach, it's chopped.
Got a lot
frozen,
of liquid.
Got a lot of liquid. So just put it in like a little colander or a little sieve over a bowl. Squeeze it till till all that liquid is gone, okay?
Yes.
So now we're mixing that in here. Okay, now we got a little red pepper flakes just because I like a tiny little bit of spice. That's a quarter.
I'll add some more later.
Yeah, you can add, this is very accommodating to whatever your tastes are.
Yeah, and what if you have it in your pantry, which is the great thing.
That's right, and yeah, you never know what's going to be in our pantry. This is a beautiful addition. This right here that I just added is a half a cup of chopped sun-dried tomatoes that have been oiled, in oil. Make sure you drain them first. Oh, but they're
so good, just a burst of flavor.
And they match perfectly against the sausage and the spinach. Then we've got 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar, which I just think is heavenly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a good mixing, and then, all right, now here is the kind of unique ingredient that we're throwing in here. We've got some smoked cheddar cheese. Smoked cheddar cheese has got a subtle smoke flavor. You can find it in a lot of supermarkets, certainly in like gourmet type supermarkets. Whole Foods has it.
What I like about it is, because smoked, like smoked Gouda, gets that really like smoky taste.
Yes.
This doesn't. It's got that, just that touch
it's
of
subtle.
smoke.
It's got that beautiful cheddar taste, but it's also got just a hint of smokiness to it, which we love. And the smell is already dying. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I am going to transfer this.
Fancy footwork.
Yes, I'm going to do a little fancy footwork. You've already folded that, so you're way ahead of me here, Loon. Okay.
All right.
So now
so you take that. I'm going to move that.
So we're using everything that we've already started with, which is this skillet. Now what I'm going to do,
Just give it a little wipe down.
I'm just going to give it a little bit of a wipe down.
And
Which
I'm
is
going to clean up right here real quick so make some room for.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw this out. Perfect.
All right. Cutting board.
Cutting board, please. Okay.
We are whipping through this.
Well, I tell you, this is going to show you how easy it is. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to, I've got a little oil here. We're going to, would you grab me the cornmeal over there?
Yes.
We're going to add about 2 teaspoons of oil on this. We want this to kind of be able to let that dough so it won't stick to the bottom of the pan.
Now, do you want just a little pinch of it?
No, what we're going to do about, you're just going to cook. This is about 2 teaspoons of
There you go.
Cornmeal, okay?
Now, why do you do the cornmeal?
Because it just helps.
It helps it from not sticking?
Yeah, it just helps it not stick, and then just kind of, spread it around.
Perfect.
And cornmeal is a wonderful, it's just a great component of pizza dough, which we love. Okay.
Are we ready for this dough?
Let's do it.
All right.
Are you ready for some dough?
Are you ready for some dough? All right, I'm going to try and do this as centered as possible.
That is good, thick dough. It's like that good, thick crust. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Now make sure you get it all down in there on the sides.
Right. That is gorgeous. Now, if
you want to, can you pinch some of that off?
You can pinch some of it.
You know what? I think it adds a little bit of the rustic look to it. If you
I mean, if you really wanted it to be beautiful, get a pair of kitchen shears. But you did a good job here, Loon. That is nice. Okay, so now if you want to go ahead and dump it. Oh, we'll just do it over the flour. That's okay.
Scoop the flour.
We'll clean it up later. Okay, now as he's doing that, let me just talk about this. We've got a little more of this smoked cheddar. We've got a cup here, and then we've got a cup of mozzarella cheese, a combination. Now, if you can't find the smoked cheddar, you could just use regular cheddar. That's no problem. Or you could just use all mozzarella. It's going to be great. Now, you may be thinking, wow, cheddar is kind of an unusual ingredient in a pizza. Well, this is a little different pizza, but it's really good. But you know what would also be really good is you could do like a cheeseburger type pizza. And you could do just regular cheddar cheese with ground beef. I mean, the options are endless here.
Oh, y'all, look at that.
I am so excited.
Oh.
That is beautiful. It just fills that perfectly.
Woo.
Yay! Okay, now Loon, you get started topping that with the cheese.
Okay.
He gets an awe of the...
I know, I just stopped there. I get in a stupor.
I know.
I get in a pizza stupor.
Well, you're a deep Loon. That's what you are. He's deep in thought over this.
I'm just messy. Just put the whole thing on there?
Yes, we want it nice and cheesy.
All right.
Just like us.
I love the mixture of this. The
combination of these flavors are... sort of crazy. Okay, so we've got the oven piping hot, which is great. It means it doesn't cook that long. I've got it preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's only going to go in for 17 minutes. And then, it's got to like set for about 10 minutes before you cut in to eat. But then it's ready to eat.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Let's do it. Is there anything more fabulous than
No.
It's pizza time,
That
folks.
is
It's heavenly. Okay, and the
amazing.
smell is ridiculous. Okay, so hi. So let's talk about this real quick. So that, like I said, it goes 17 minutes in a very hot oven. So check it after about 10 to 12 to 13 minutes. It's starting to this beautiful brown. That's what you want. But you definitely want the crust to continue to brown as well. So you
Yes.
may need to put a piece of foil over it if you feel like it's browning too much. This is before your 17 minutes comes up. But anyway, then at 17 minutes, you're going to take it out of the oven, and then you're going to put it right here, and then you're going to take that foil off, and you're just going
Try
to
not
like
to stick your face in it.
stare at it for 10 minutes because you're going to want to eat it. Okay, now I'm going to,
Yes.
this is like,
Cut that up.
like cutting pie. So, and it's so easy to cut. So the
Talk about thick, deep
I
deliciousness.
know they don't call it deep dish pizza for nothing.
My stars.
Okay, so this is like cutting pie. So you never know how that first piece is going to come out.
All right. It's all going
and
to
I'm
the same place.
I'm trying not to waste too much of anyone's time here. So I'm doing it kind of
You're
quickly.
wasting my time.
I know. I'm not feeding you fast enough. All right, let me just.
All right.
Here we go. We debated, should we do this beforehand? I was like, no, I want to show
Make
the
sure
whole.
you cut the crust.
I know.
It's
It's
a
because
good
I'm
thick
rushed.
crust.
I know. It's cut beautifully. Here we go. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Let me get you right
that
here.
crust.
Oh,
Give me that crust.
beautiful.
This will be yours.
Thank you.
The
second-
second cut is always the deepest.
So that would make a great song. Okay. Now, there we go. Oh, this is such, the smell is just intoxicating. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Beautiful. And that crust, it's
I'm
just,
slobbering everywhere.
I know you are. Look at that.
Perfect.
Look at it steaming. And that
Yes.
spinach. Oh my gosh.
There's yours.
Thank you. I was That's
That
impressive.
is some serious deep dish pizza.
I know. I've got my fork. I am
I'm
ready
sorry.
to eat.
I like to throw a little more
Okay.
on mine.
All right. Go ahead. That is so beautiful.
Oh,
And
that
it's funny when
crust.
you're looking at it. It's like, wow, that's a lot of spinach. But
That
the combination
crust.
of the spinach with the sausage and the crust. I know. It's the upper crust.
Oh, okay. Oops.
The anticipation. It's okay. I just want you to say, because I always speak for you. He can't speak. That's why I speak.
It's a
for
perfect combination. I love the taste of the spinach and the sausage together.
I know they're a match made in heaven. Oh, it's like an Italian
And
wedding.
it makes me feel like I'm eating a little healthy.
a little bit, a little bit.
And those sun-dried tomatoes, like
know.
every little bit, you go, oh.
Okay, talk about the dough.
The dough. The dough, I can't believe how simple it is, and it tastes so good.
I know. When I was telling Wesley I was going to make this, I said, I think I'm just going to run down to, our favorite Italian restaurant and get and he said, no, make some. And I said,
Yes.
you're right. I'm
Yeah.
just going to make it.
Make
And
it.
I forget that it's so easy, and it really makes the difference.
And the smoked cheddar
Yes,
is perfect. It is so subtle, but you get that hint.
It's not too much. Yes.
Oh,
It's a really interesting combination of flavors.
this is one of my faves, so you know what it means.
What?
It's 1,000% Loon approved.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh!
I was because you're so silly.
I know.
You're like, what?
I'm not silly. Why would you say I'm silly? I'm about to be.
You make me giggle.
Well,
Wow.
that was ridiculous.
I know. I'm just gonna sit here and eat.
I know.
This.
You guys, that crust
It is so good.
is so delicious. Oh my gosh, I'm just.
I love it. And I love the interesting thing about this pizza is there's no tomato sauce. There's
I
no
know.
pizza sauce.
I know. Well, there's the sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah.
I know. It's just so loaded with all that delicious flavor.
Y'all, I am so happy right now. I'm very, very happy.
And that's all we ever want,
Yeah.
is for the Loon to be happy.
Exactly. Because I am deep. You can get this recipe on howtofeedaloon.com.
I'm deep in something, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, go to our social media, like us, share us, and do all of that. And you guys, you saw how easy this is. It's so
Hold on.
wonderful.
Look at that delicious crust right there.
So good. It really is. It's a crust above the rest. Anyway, we love you. We love you so much. Thank you so much for everything. I want to dive deep into your pizza. Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Now, if you want to be a part of the Loon Fund, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you won't miss a single recipe.
That's right. Oh, and speaking of recipes, if you want another amazing Italian recipe like this, then just click right here.
That's right. Click, subscribe.
It's so much fun.